All right, so now we've heard it from leaders in the northeastern region talking about the decision by the TSC, that is the Teachers Employer, the Teachers Service Commission, to withdraw non-local teachers from the northeastern region because of insecurity. Let's now link up with our reporter located in Wajir, Ahmed, who's saying still on the same subject, matters to do with non-local teachers in the area. And Hussein, good morning. As we speak right now, several teachers have been withdrawn by TSC from that region. Talk to us about the situation in Wajir, probably how many teachers have been withdrawn from that area and how many schools have been affected.
Good morning, Brenda. The situation in Wajir is the same as what is happening in Garissa and Mandera. The number of schools that have now been closed because of the teachers' crisis is over 100 schools. More than 1,000 teachers have left, and I can now confirm that including almost 10 schools that had their principals who were non-locals. And so you can understand the situation the way it is. The crisis has now reached at a tipping point where the students are just stranded in the school. There's no teaching that's going on. The parents and the locals from the area are now decrying the plight. Remember that the students from these counties are set to sit for the same exam as the rest of the students from the country. And with the performance levels that has over the years been deteriorating, you can understand how bad the situation is. But all the same, the leaders from the area have been decrying the move, which at the moment has not yet paid any dues. There has been no answers to the crisis, but it is at a very, very bad time where the residents, the locals are confused. As from last week, as per the Wajir County Education Board, over 1,000 teachers have now been left. The figures could even be more because more teachers have been leaving. They've been more transfers that has been going on. But the schools that have now been closed, more than 100 schools. Previously, in 2018, there was also similar mass exodus of teachers from the region, and we saw what happened. The result of the students in the following year was very bad. You could see that there was over 3,000 students from Northern Kenya whose results were cancelled because of cheating cases. And so the same could still happen. There could be frustrations here and there, which now will lead to students in one way or another being caught up in a situation where they have cheated in the exams. But the schools are closing, the parents are confused, the leaders are all but now starting to talk about it. There's been a few criticisms of the leaders in the past few weeks where most of the leaders were giving backing to the Building Bridges initiative. But right now, as we have seen, the majority leader, Aiden Duale, in a media conference or a press, talking to a journalist rather, said that they should first solve the crisis in the teachers' transfers before talking about the Building Bridges initiative meeting that is slated for the next week in Garissa. But the leaders, as been shown by KK News earlier on, have been talking about it. But the situation in Wajir is worse because it is one of the biggest among the three counties, among the biggest, and has actually the most schools from the area together with Mandera. And so the areas that were previously affected when the crisis started was around the border areas that are along the Kenya-Somalia border. But now, even Wajir town, where there are other Kenyans living, other foreign Kenyans from other parts of the country who are living, who are doing business, who are happily there, who are happily married, the teachers are left. The border operators, those who work for the government, those who are working in the banking sector, all of them, as of this morning now, everyone has availed themselves for their own work. It's only the non-local teachers who have left. And so that's a bit confusing because they're a little bit asking why are the Kenyans from other parts of the country here and only the teachers are the ones who have left. And they're asking such questions, but all the criticisms now they have actually directed to the education TSC head, Dr. Nancy Macharia. But TSC on their part say that they are not ready to put the lie to the teachers on the line more than this. They're saying that the teachers have been rendering
All right.
services to the students. So, okay, Brenda?
I mean, you're talking to us, telling us rather about, schools being closed in Wajir. Is that sort of short-term measures that Wajir County government has put in place? Because I know in Mandera County, when I was talking to the county chief of staff, David Ohito, he was talking about, the county government employing non-locals there to teach the students. Is it the same situation in Wajir County as we speak?
Yes, the same thing. The county government of Wajir have now sampled a list that they have shared via their social media handles, that they have been sampling the departments that have people with teaching or education experiences, former teachers who are now serving as directors, others who are serving as chief of staff, to now teach schools in Wajir County. Over 40 secondary schools and around 70 primary schools have now been slated to be taught by other civil servants from the county, those ones who have education experience over the years. And so they're saying that they can't keep on or to watch the schools closed, and the students who have, rather they say, been denied their right to education. And so they're coming up with localized methods where the civil servants, the county staff who are working under the county education department, those who are former chief of staff, former teachers who are now serving as chief executive committee members, that's the CECs, are now set to go to class and teach, including the county, the Wajir County acting county secretary Abdullah Hassan, who himself is a former teacher there. And so those are just some localized methods that they're coming up with. But whether they can cover the vast land where them over 100, over almost 100 plus schools, some of them that are around the Kenya-Somalia border, 3 hours, 4 hours drive from Wajir town, is the question whether they're able to cover that vast land and teach every student. But for now, probably the number of those few numbers of former teachers who are now being listed by the county government of Wajir to try to slow down or measure down the temperatures in that part of the country probably will just be rendering rather services to some of the schools in Wajir County. But the solutions that are needed a little bit are long-term solutions. The exams are not far away, almost 8 months as per now. And so are they able to cover the syllabus? What can they render in that kind of situation? So they're just asking for the TSC to repost the teachers once more. They're saying that some of the areas that have been termed as a security threat by the Teacher Service Commission are around 3 hours, 4 hours from the Somali border. And so they're saying that those areas have never experienced insecurity challenges, and yet the teachers have been transferred. But Brenda, the situation is becoming hotter and hotter. Tensions are a little bit high because students are just at homes now. Schools are a little bit every day after every